Chapter 28 Fall. Anthea and Elle climbed down into the anthill, walking down a sloped walkway deep into the tunnels. It was nothing like Elle had ever imagined the inside of an ant's home to look like. They expected tunnels simply dug out from the earth and to be entirely made from dirt. But when they entered, they were greeted with turnstiles, similar to what you would find at a train station. There were hundreds of ants entering and exiting the tunnels, scanning something at the turnstiles and passing through. There were so many different ants, brown, black, some with hats, some carrying large loads, some even carrying other ants. Anthea told Elle to wait by the entrance, and she walked over to an ant in a uniform behind a small room who was looking over the entrance, watching their fellow ants come and go. She dug through her bag and took out an official-looking piece of paper from her bag and showed it to them. The ant looked over at Elle and immediately frowned, then looked back at Anthea. They talked for a few minutes, and then he shook his head. Anthea motioned Elle over and they passed through, continuing deeper into the tunnels, which were now at a deeper angle into the ground. There were ants heading in every direction. Some were in a great hurry, bobbing in and out of the crowd to get wherever they were heading. There were ants standing to the side chatting about who knows what. Some ants were walking in a single file line carrying food and other things, some of which were 10 times their size. Elle found their eyes darting here and there, looking at all of the new things they never thought they would see in their life. They were taking it all in, trying their hardest not to stare at anyone, but every so often Elle would catch the glimpse of an ant looking back at them. They noticed a similarity between each ant as they looked at them. They didn't look happy. In fact, Elle almost felt like they hated them.
Be careful, Elle. Us ants have the ability to walk on walls, so sudden drops in the floor's tunnel aren't uncommon. We'll be taking the route more friendly to humans,
she said to Elle, who was following close behind, when suddenly a very small and young-looking ant cut in between them. They were holding such a high stack of corn kernels that they didn't even see where they were going, bumping into Elle and causing them both to stumble to the ground. The kernels the small ant was holding were now scattered across the floor, rolling here and there, causing other ants to slip and almost fall as well. The little ant said something in Antonese, giggling and smiling at Elle. They both started to pick up the corn when another ant walked over and kicked aside the kernel Elle was just reaching for. Elle looked up at them. It was another angry ant. It wasn't until this moment that Anthea noticed Elle was separated from her. She turned around and saw the commotion, instantly at a full run towards them. There was now a few ants gathered around Elle as they sat on the floor, looking up at the angry ants who were now talking amongst themselves in Antonese, frequently pointing and looking at Elle with disgust. Anthea slid in front of Elle and said something they couldn't understand, pointing away from them and frowning at the other ants with determination, not even blinking. Just like with the old ant before, they seemed to have a staring contest in silence before scoffing and walking away, mumbling under their breath. Anthea helped Elle back up and they gathered the corn for the little ant and it scurried off. Anthea sighed and they began to head off once again when a cherry tomato rolled right towards Elle. Anthea pushed Elle out of the way and stopped it with her ant strength, sliding back a couple of inches when she noticed her foot almost slide off the edge of a tunnel drop. Her heart sank. She looked to the direction she pushed Elle out of the way. It was right for the edge of the tunnel. She looked around and noticed an ant smiling across the crowd, who then walked off with another ant carrying a cherry tomato. Anthea clenched her fist, took a deep breath, and jumped down the tunnel after Elle, hoping that they somehow would have landed safely.